Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm David Yeck here.
And I'm Susan Keller Horn.
And you're listening or watching Yak About Film, the Vero Beach Film Festival podcast. So,
Nice
Susan?
breath.
Okay, so those of you out there who know us well, Susan, at the direction of our producer Morgan, said I had to take a breath after she said her name. I follow direction perfectly, if you ask me. Anyway, today we're going to talk about, we have something special that we hadn't done before. We have horror nights. We have 2 horror films playing on Friday and Saturday in the evening.
Yes.
And Susan's going to start to tell you a little about them.
The first one is Purgatory Jack. That's on Friday evening at the Theater Guild main stage. It's at 8:30 p.m. It's a lot of fun. It's a campy film. It has everything in it. What I love about this film, it's a film noir. It's a mystery. It's a mystery in Hell's waiting room, basically.
In Purgatory, I think.
In Purgatory. Yes. Well, Hell's waiting room, that's Purgatory.
Yes, I'm Jewish. I don't know about those things.
I think hell exists in the Jewish world.
Oh, no.
No?
We don't have hell.
I didn't know that.
No, we go straight up.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I understand if you have to work for it.
Okay, I'll work for it.
Okay, just like
Anyway,
Purgatory Jack.
Exactly, just like Purgatory Jack. But it's a lot of fun. It's campy. It's not real gore. It's kind of fake gore. It's a fun film.
Very surreal. Very surreal. The look of it, the feel of it, has that, and the way it's shot. I really
that
think
film
is interesting.
noir kind of a feel.
Exactly.
So I do love that. And then on Saturday night we have Cannibal Mukbang. Words, names, and if you notice, we're laughing a lot because we're not sleeping much.
Let's just say it starts with cannibal.
Yes, it starts with cannibal. It does start with cannibal, and but it's a love story, and it's like, what would you do for love? And mukbang, to explain what it is, mukbang is, it's more Korean. It's about watching films about people eating food. And so this is all about food. This is about love. It has some gory parts. I won't lie about that.
Yum, yum.
Yeah, yum, yum. Do not watch the trailer because the trailer is far more gory than the film is. But
that's our strategy to get you to watch the trailer.
Don't watch the trailer. Don't watch the trailer. I love the film. The trailer scares me. But the film truly is a love story, and it stars a local native. It stars April Consolo.
That's right.
And she grew up here in Vero Beach. She's a professional actress, and she is amazing.
I don't know. Is she coming?
I don't know. The director is coming. Amy is coming, the director, and she just said to me she wasn't sure if April can make it, but I'm hoping April's going to be here.
Yeah, come home, April.
Come home, April. Yes, we want to see you. She's stunningly beautiful too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, but it's a love story and a horror film all in one.
So, who do we have back? We have Herb Stratford, our favorite guy, our favorite guest program director. You may have just seen him in our podcast 5 minutes ago, right? Or
another time.
Or another time. Anyway, today we're going to talk about our signature films which Herb found for the festival.
Yes.
And Herb, you'll take us through it. And the audience, I think the audience is going to be just nuts. These films are great.
They really are fantastic. Right. So Herb, tell us what we mean by signature films that you found for us.
Sure. Film festivals generally are a combination of submittals by filmmakers, and then also they're films that have been sort of found by programmers like myself, and those finds can be through they've played at other festivals, maybe personal relationships with filmmakers that give us an early look at something, but it's a really great platform that Susan and David have allowed us to create, which is to have a separate sort of agenda of films that are these signature films, which are coming from they're films that are not necessarily a first-time filmmaker. They're films that are out on the circuit right now. They're getting good buzz. They're going to be coming out later this year, but we in Vero Beach are getting a sneak peek at these films, which is really exciting for us. To have these sneak peeks, because otherwise you would have had to have been in Toronto or Venice or wherever to see these films, which most of us can't do, myself included. So there's basically there's 7 of these films this year in our signature film series. We've got 3 documentaries or three documentaries and 4 narratives. So I think I'll start with the documentaries. And the first one is called Minted. And this film is really sort of an interesting thing because everybody has heard about, NFTs, right? The non-fungible tokens, which were the big rage for investors. And they were a digital version of, say, an artwork or something where you owned that digital artwork. And it was never going to be available to anybody else. It's a very complicated thing, sort of like Bitcoin, where if you don't really have a primer on it, you don't understand how it works. This film does a fabulous job of explaining what those NFTs are by going deep with these different artists who were creating them and sort of was inside the bubble when it went big. And so it's a fascinating look at sort of the art world, but also where that intersects with commerce and with technology. So highly recommend Minted. The Grab is the next film we're going to talk about, and this is just a really fascinating documentary that I was very lucky for us to get. It is not played very many places. It's a very sort of eye-opening and sobering piece about food and about where the world is and where we are and how that all fits together. And so very, very interesting to see that. And then the third documentary is called Merchant Ivory. And if you're a filmie, you've certainly heard that name before. And that refers to the producer-director duo of Merchant Ivory, who gave us such incredible films like Room with a View, The English Patient. I mean, just the list goes on and on and on. Beautiful period pieces that are sort of, very English, very, very proper, and just these incredible Emma Thompson. I mean, so many people came out of these Merchant Ivory films. So this documentary is just a really great look at their relationship as artists and about the legacy of their films, because only one of them is still alive right now. So really great to see this. It's very much a film fan's documentary. So if you have ever seen a Merchant Ivory film, you're going to be in heaven to see all the behind the scenes and things like that you get to see in this documentary and hear them talking about how they made some of your favorite films. So now if we pivot, we'll go to the narratives that we've got in our signature films. And I want to start with Thelma. Thelma is such an amazing film. It played at South by Southwest last month, so very, very, very new film on the circuit. It is this really sweet, wonderful story about a grandmother who gets scammed and she decides not to just let it go. And so she goes on a mission with her grandson in tow to try and undo what has been done to her in a financial way. And I just love this movie. It is so great. It's going to be coming out, I think, probably about 2 or 3 weeks after the festival. So this is a real super special sneak peek that we get to see this film. It stars June Squibb, who is 93 or 94 years old, and she is amazing. You may remember, the last thing I remember her being in was Nebraska. The Alexander Payne movie, which was so great. So Thelma is really wonderful. And then staying in that really wonderful zone is a film we have called Nowhere Special. This movie is just, it's both heartbreaking and heart reaffirming. It's a story of a man who is wrestling with some terminal illness, and he's trying to find a place to put his child. He doesn't have any family, so he's trying to find the best sort of new home for his kid. And it is just such a beautiful story, such a beautiful, amazing performances. This is another one of these films that I think you're going to see in the hunt in awards season because it's just such an incredible story. Everybody is wonderful in it. So really happy about Nowhere Special being a part of our program. And then the next thing is a film called The Universal Theory. And this is a very interesting hybrid film. When I brought it to the team, I was like, I really love this movie, but I wanted to get your opinion as well. And so Susan was in 100%. I think after about 10 minutes in, she texted me and said, I'm in.
I did. It's different though. It's a very different film.
It is. It deals with the multiverse and sort of time travel, and it's set in sort of Germany in World War II sort of era, and I mean, post-war time. It is a real trip, and I mean, it's just such an interesting way to see a story and see it done so well, the cinematography, the acting, everything, and then it's the kind of film where afterwards you want to talk. You want to say, okay, let's talk about this movie because this is what I think. Well, this is what I think. And it just is such a great conversation starter. It's so well done. It's remarkable. I really enjoyed this movie, and I was so happy that we got it from Oscilloscope. And then our last film in the narratives of the signature film series is a film called My Neighbor Adolf. And this movie really sort of snuck up on me. And I have to say, it's hard when you see a lot of films and you start to have things go into genres and you're like, okay, well, I've seen, what new story could there be in this genre? So this story is a post-World War II story where a guy in Argentina becomes convinced that his new neighbor is Adolf Hitler and that he has actually somehow escaped and faked his death in Berlin at the end of the war. In Europe. And so it's this really interesting piece that you thread a needle where obviously anytime you've got Adolf Hitler in a movie, you've got to be very careful, unless you're doing, a broad comedy or a very depressing documentary. This one is really interesting because it's a character study. And I don't want to give anything away, but things are not necessarily as they appear. And the cast is amazing. The story is great. It's another one of these films that this is the kind of thing you need to discover at a film festival. And then when it comes out, you're going to tell your friends, because I'm not sure if you would hear about it as much unless you heard about it because you saw it or a friend saw it at a film festival. So that is My Neighbor Adolf. So those are our 7 films in the signature series this year. And we're really excited about them. And I believe they're all playing at the Majestic. Is that right, guys?
No, the Grab is not. I believe the Grab is playing somewhere else. I'm not sure.
At the Theater Guild, right?
I believe so. I believe
That's
it's playing
right.
at the Theater Guild. So, but all the rest are playing Majestic. They have the special equipment that we can show the DCPs on. So that is why they're all at the Majestic. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, going back to My Neighbor Adolf, you have to mention too that it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy, but it is, you will laugh in that film. I mean, you wouldn't expect to, but you do. So it's a lot of fun. Herb, thank you so much for bringing us these films. It's been a lot of fun going through them with you and helping to select them. And I think our audiences are going to have a great time.
No, when they when they watch this podcast and listen to Herb, they'll be running to these films.
Yes,
because
they
they really are extraordinary. And by the way, you are a good pitch man. Right. I got to take lessons from you.
I know, it's awesome. And Thelma's going to crack everybody up too. That's going to be an awesome one.
Herb, do we see you next week, right?
Yes.
Yes, he'll
Very
be here
excited.
next week.
Very excited to be on the ground and looking forward to seeing everybody. And honestly, I'll tell you, I watch a lot of films, but there's a couple films in our program here this year that I really honestly can't wait to see again because I love them so much and I want to see it again. And so I'm excited to be there and looking forward to being with everybody and filmmakers and looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Herb.
Thanks, Herb.
Thanks.
We'll see you later.
We'll
All
see
right.
you soon.
Right? What do we? I can't remember.
Well, I think we talked about, we want to remind everybody that you buy your passes and your tickets to events online. We have the 3 types of passes, which you can read about online. We also have events that are all individually sold or included in the Premier Pass. And then after you have your pass, you've purchased your passes, you need a badge. And the badges will be available for pickup at the Theater Guild on San Juan Avenue. It's over near the airport. So
From the 4th on. You know who I want to talk to right now are the people that have purchased their passes, because we get a lot of questions when they can pick them up. So there's 2 things. You can pick them up at the Theater Guild from April 4th on. But more importantly, what we're going to do for all the people that purchase the passes is we're going to send out a How to Fest email. So look for that, and that gives you all the details of how the film festival works.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll know how to pick up your passes, where all the venues are, and what to expect. So look for that email, and I think and
I
hopefully new people out there are going to buy new passes.
and we're looking forward to seeing you at our festival. So
All right, as our
thanks.
producer likes to say, goodbye.
Goodbye.